Hello and welcome back to Mambition. This is Tiffany and
Alex, hello, we're
woohoo,
here.
we made it. We made it, baby.
Finally.
Guys, it's been an intense week. And I think it definitely plays in well with that whole theme of what Mambition represents and how long it's taken us to actually record this episode. And again, ties in with the topic we're going to be discussing today. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, definitely. I think you should tell us a little bit about your week if you can bear to,
Does
to bring
anybody
it
want
up.
to know about my week? And one of us are crying. Look, we need like the violin right now. Because I'm about to have a mini pity party. It's been an intense week. So both children have had some sort of cold viral virus thing that's going around. My son has had a bit of conjunctivitis. My daughter's currently teething. So dealing with this intense period of coughing. They're both unwell. My daughter, again, because she's teething, she's crying all day, and she's quite an intense baby. I mean, I hope she never listens to this when she's older, but you girl, you're intense. Like she's one of those where when she's not well or a bit upset or slight inconvenience, man, she like throws herself on the floor. She's crying, she's sobbing. So I've not been able to put her down this week.
She's going
And
to be a strong-willed.
oh,
I,
very
I,
oh
I fear for you in the teen years, I think.
Oh, total boss babe. And I'm here for it. I'm just like, I'm here. I'm here to support you. I'm just here for you. But yeah, it's just been intense. Like I've not been able to put her down like physically. And that's a lot. So I'm battling with that this week. And then on top of that, obviously still having to work. And I know it's not about having a pity party, but sometimes it's okay to acknowledge that it's just some weeks and some moments of life it's just a bit intense. But we're
Yeah,
here.
I think as well, I think we should all get away from pretending everything's fine.
That
You
would be a
know,
great place to start.
I think, so yeah, our theme for this week is
Mhm.
really about can you have it all? And so one of our good friends, Catherine, shout out there, Catherine,
Shout out to Catherine.
sent us a link to some comments that Lily Allen made, which I'm sure you've seen in the press about how having kids, that she loves them, but they've ruined her career. And we thought that would be a great place to start and something to talk about. So, Tiffany, thought.
Oh, Lily, girl, I got you. I hear you, boo. I'm joking. Well, yes, you know what, Lily? It's like Lily. Yes, thank you for saying that. I think again, I have such a balanced perspective on this, just because I think we're all having our own unique motherhood experiences, and I think that's okay. So in a way, I actually applaud Lily for saying that, and maybe that's the thought she's thinking at the back of her head. But nobody, maybe some people don't want to say it. They feel awkward. And she's always been quite an outspoken character.
Yeah.
So as awkward as it may be, whatever, listen, we have freedom of speech in this country. So I'm glad she said that. If I think everyone can kind of relate to somebody will be able to relate to her. So I think she has a point in terms of it's a strong word, but I think she has a point. Just because I always think everything is limited in terms of your energy, your time, your resources. So by default, her putting the time into her children, energy into her children, is taken away from a pop stardom. I think that's the word anyway. And yeah, so that pop stardom ambitions is obviously going to suffer. So that makes sense. But again, I always think we all got to think about this from our perspective. But I think she has a point. And that's all I'll say for now. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I think I feel a bit sorry for Lily Allen because she is outspoken and I think she gets a lot of hate, particularly in the right-wing press. They don't like people being particularly outspoken, and I think she often does say the stuff other people don't want to. And I think, there'll be a limited amount of sympathy for her because it's like ruined my career as a pop star. So automatically people are kind of a bit jealous and thinking, well, you've got the money and the resources to support yourself. And but I think, when I read into it a bit more, she said she kind of went on to say some people choose their career over their children. That's their prerogative. And she said her parents were quite absent when she was a child and that she doesn't want to repeat those mistakes. So I think our own childhoods really kind of inform our perspective as to what we're willing to kind of make important to us. And for
Wow.
me, I don't know, I think, I get it, because you have to, your perspective does change. And I think, can you have it all? We've been led to believe that we can work and we can have, fulfilling motherhood journeys and stuff at the same time, and we can have all of these side hustles, etc. And that, but actually, if you're doing everything, can you do it all well? So maybe you can have it all, but are you doing it all a bit half-heartedly? That's why I think you need to prioritize, think about what's important to you, and then put the time into those things. But yeah, I think there's potential to feel like you're doing everything and failing at everything.
Wow, Alex, I could clap for you right now, but I don't know how that would
Thanks.
sound. I don't know how that would sound on this thing. Might sound like this annoying, reverberating noise. Like, what's she doing? But you know what? You hit the nail on the head there. I love what you said. I love how you took it back to her comparison. I think, again, because it makes a good headline, having two children totally ruined my career. I was like, oh my God, she's such a witch. But it makes sense, like what she said about her childhood and the fact that we don't know, we weren't there, but that her experiences with her parents informed how she wants to parent, and because of that, perhaps she's now prioritizing being a mother over a potentially amazing stardom career, and now it feels like it's ruined a career. So it's again, it's how you look at it, but that makes such a good point. And I was thinking about, again, it's simply two competing things. I mean, pop stardom, what does that mean? You mean, do you perform at night? I don't know. It just sounds weird. Late night recordings. I don't know, late night recordings, or they're refining your skill, refining your craft. And whilst you're doing that, obviously, I don't know, it's very then difficult, because that time is taken into your career, and then your children, they want you to be present, they want you to be playing with them, they want you to be interacting with them constantly. So whilst she's singing, she can't, I don't know, be bouncing a baby on a hip, right? So yeah, that makes sense that it's going to take something away. And I think, again, you're right into what you said about, it's just about choosing. That's so powerful. What does having it all even means, and who wants it all? I mean,
that's true. Do we want it all? I don't
who
know.
wants it all? What? Like, I don't know, what is all? It's such a, this broad, vague, useless term.
Yeah. And I think if we talk about the example of us this week, so we wanted to record, but, and we've decided as well to make this a priority. We want to do it. We want to be consistent. We want to record every week. But actually, if your kids are ill, then they are more important. And you might just be shattered from looking after them. But so for me, I'm quite solution focused, and I came up with a bit of a solution for what we can try and do. Do you remember I was saying we could record 2 episodes in one go when we get a slot? And I think that's probably a solution for us going forward to be able to meet those goals. So for me, I guess being able to do it, it's about, maybe you don't want to do it all, but doing the things you're prioritizing. It's about workarounds, isn't it? And trying to find the time to fit it in when you can, so that you can juggle the being a mum, because that's inevitably going to get in the way of what you try to do.
That's true. You know what? It makes me think about when I was pregnant with my daughter. So I had my son. He was maybe just under 2. Actually, don't quote me on the timings, right? I think it was just maybe about 2-ish, around 2. And
I think it was before he was 2.
Listen, leave my maths out of this, right?
Okay. I was just going to say, because when I found out that you were pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Just thinking about
what are they doing? I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, so I had my son. I had my daughter. No, I was pregnant with my daughter, and I had nausea. So it was just like I couldn't throw up. I felt like I wanted to throw up, and I felt sick all the time. And I remember at the time I was running my real estate marketing business. So what I used to do was I'd be on the floor with my son, and then when I had I'd be in my dressing gown, and when I had meetings, I would change my dressing gown, put on my nice, lovely blazer, and I'll do my 45 an hour discovery calls, and then straight away I put on my dressing gown and just get back on the floor. And and that was just the reality of being a heavily pregnant woman with a child and running a business. And I remember at the time as well, I had to give up going to the gym because I love going to gym. I wanted to really, stay fit during my pregnancy. And I remember going to the gym used to make me very, very tired. Like just 30-minute session, I was just knocked out for the day. And it got to a point where I actually had to give up the gym just so I can invest that energy into my business. So I suppose that's just an example of I had to, my energy was a very limited resource, and I had to give up the gym even though I wanted to go, just because I felt at the time like my running my business was more important to me. So that's an example of I don't know, in a small way or a big way, not I couldn't have it all in that moment. The gym had to give for my business to thrive.
Yeah, I'm nodding along, but I can't relate to the gym because I'm a bit of a couch potato. But yeah, no, I admire your sort of healthy lifestyle from afar. But yeah, definitely I can see how trying to fit that in and do it while you're pregnant as well is just it's madness. Sometimes the kind of things that we expect ourselves to kind of carry all at the same time.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's about just, again, what we want to get out of this is for people to sit down and think, do you want it all? What does all mean? All means you want to be a clown, you want to be a corporate person. Like, what does all mean? So it's like maybe we need to let go of that word all and start to think, what do we actually want? And it's kind of, and also I think just having some clarity, thinking at the end of my life, what would have mattered to me? Because I think there's so much noise out there about being a mom and time and this and that, but we're all shaping our own narrative. You don't have to live like Lily Allen. You don't have to, be like this and that person. Just sit down for a second. I think it's thinking for ourselves and defining like, what kind of life do I want to live? What kind of motherhood journey do I want to have? And then sitting down and think what it means to you. Because some people are blessed to be a mother. Some people want to be a mother so desperate they can't. So they will probably come across Lily Allen's comments and say, oh, she's so selfish. I wish I could be a mom. So remember that as well. I always think it's all about this perspective. And again, it's coming back to sitting down. And I do this so frequently simply because, like I said, I've had so many experiences that's shaped my thinking and the way that I see life. So I'm ultimately grateful to be a mom. So because of that, even though I'm missing out on certain things, I don't mind because I really think this is incredible. This is such a blessing. So for me, I think I would inspire anyone listening to this to sit down and think, what do they actually want? And when you sit down and actually think about what you really want, you realize you only want a handful of things. You might think you want something just because it looks amazing on someone's Instagram. Maybe they're going on holiday, they're doing this nomadic lifestyle, working from anywhere, sipping margarita by the beach. But do you really want that? Because you might get bored after a couple of hours. Once you feel the sand in your toes, you might actually get a little bit irritated. So it's actually thinking, what do you actually want? Is it, you might just want a happy life, a good relationship with your children. You might want a good career and this amount of money that allows you to maybe have caravan holidays twice a year. Or maybe you do want more than that. So again, it's just once you decide what you want and then spend the rest of your life, make not necessarily chasing those things, but making sense of those things and working towards those things.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I'm trying to do that at the moment, of work out exactly what's important to me, how I move forward in my career while managing being a mum, which elements of my career do I like, which ones do I, not like so much, and which bits fulfill me, and then trying to do more of the bits that fulfill me. So I'm the book I talked about, can't actually remember the title of it. The one I mentioned in the first episode, let me just have a look. It's the one about basically she talks about very similar topics to what we're talking about, and how to kind of chase your ambition. It's called The Future's Greater, and it's Maxine Noiry. She's got loads of exercises in that book about how you work out what's important to you, and I'm kind of trying to work through the book and actually do the exercises at the minute. So I will have done a couple by the time we meet next time, and I might share some of the stuff I've come up with. But yeah, I think that kind of working through and prioritizing helps what's worth spending the time on.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it really, isn't it? What's worth spending time on. And it's not everything, it's not all. It's what you think you want from your life. And I think, like, again, once we define that, it just makes things a little bit simpler. Then we can stop chasing everything and actually focus on working towards the things that are meaningful for our life.
Yeah, I think what you said about, not being influenced by what other people want, and, I guess that feeling of like FOMO, of worrying that if you don't do that, then you're going to miss out. What's right for other people isn't necessarily right for you, and being intentional about what actually matters is really important, because it's not about what matters to everyone or copying what you see other people doing on social media. It's really working out, okay, these are the core things for me, and then working out, right, how do I make the time to be able to do this? How do I find a little bit of time to try and progress it? And you don't have to make huge steps all the time. I think we were talking about this when we were talking about recording the podcast, that consistency is really important. And actually, we felt like we didn't really know what we were doing, but we're just going to start and we're just going to be consistent. And in time, you get better at it. And I think that attitude can be applied to whatever goals you're kind of setting in your life. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It's never going to arrive. Take what you are interested in and follow your ambitions, but work out how to juggle it around your life. Carve out little moments of time to be able to progress what you want to.
Yeah, that's it. And and also I always think about it from a perspective even of the children. I mean, I know that obviously we all have limited time, but how would it feel for children to think they ruined a career, your career, or they ruined this part of your life or anything? So I think it's important to, when they grow up, do you want them to look back and think, oh, was it because I was born, you didn't chase your goals, or you didn't, achieve your dreams? No, I think they want to be responsible. They don't want that burden. That's quite a hard burden for a child to carry. So as much as they are going to impact your life in terms of limiting your time, and that's the reality, I think it's important, like you said, to have things in place that make success more likely, right? Like being consistent. I mean, for example, even this week, I'm not, not, well, yes, I'm celebrating myself, actually. I've been able to work and look after my children in balance with working. I've still been able to consistently do my output of work every single day, just because I am consistent. I lean into the help that I have, but again, it's just having this behaviors, because I think once we stop being hopeless and feeling like we're part of this grand scheme of life and we can't do anything about it, or we're parents, or no, we can't do this, then you won't see the opportunity to be creative and be consistent and to try different things. And I think that's what it's about. It's about taking control of your own narrative so that you can then empower yourself to take steps and do what you can and use the time wisely to achieve your goals and still be a mum.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got one kind of final thing that I was just thinking of there. So I decided this week that to make time for the things that I actually find important and want to do, I want to spend less time on my phone, which I imagine lots of people want to do. So I've signed up for something that The Guardian started, which is basically like a newsletter that they do. I think we can put the link to it in the website, but it's like a 5-week program of kind of coaching to spend less time on your phone. And I'm going to do that. I've signed up for it. I've done the first little bit, but I feel like that steals a lot of people's time and makes you feel like you've got no time for anything. And I want some of that time back to do good stuff with.
I love that. Love that you're taking back control. I think, yeah, and I think, yeah, that's amazing. I don't have any wonderful tips, but I think what Alex said is really useful, because again, once you track your time, you realize where it's going. You realize that you are wasting a lot of it. So something for all of us to think about. So yeah, I think that's that really for this week. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it and you've learned something, and we can all learn and grow together.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye.